Hey, this is Daniel Grove, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing my new AD200 Pro light. We're going to do a comparison with this versus a Yongnuo speed light. I'm going to play with high speed sync, and we're going to show you how to do a two light setup with a separate flash that isn't a GODOX brand. All right, well, let's get to it. Okay, so I'm going to be using the AD200 Pro. I've got this bracket, it costs about 20 bucks. The light, the Pro version is $350, and I'm controlling it with the GODOX controller. This is the X Pro C. C is for Canon. So I'm going to put this in here, and also on this light, it's pretty cool. It actually has a removable head. So right now, first I'm going to use the flash head, I think is what it's called. But if I take it out, I can put in the bulb head, which is, I think it's supposed to be used for the studio stuff with like soft boxes and umbrellas and things like that, which I will use later when I get the soft box on here. But first we're just going to use the flash head, and we're going to, if I can get it out of here, that's embarrassing. Put the flash head back on there so that we can compare it in power with the Yongnuo 600 EXRT2, which is a flash that I've had for a long time, and we're going to do an A/B comparison. All right, let's get this set up. All right, so I'm going to be doing a comparison shot first. So I've got my AD200 Pro here, and I've got the Yongnuo 600 EXRT2, it's a ridiculously long name, right here. So I'm going to take a photo with one, and then I'm going to turn off that controller, switch to the other controller, and take the second shot with the other light to see how much more powerful one is versus the other at full power. I'm going to take this first photo, and I'm basically going to expose it for the speed light. So I want it to look well exposed for the speed light, and then I'm going to take the same photo with the same settings with the larger light, and my speed light is at full power, 1:1. Okay, so I'm going to put my AD200 at full power now, same settings, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, a lot brighter. And then the full body shot. Great. Now I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to expose a different photo for the AD200, and then I'm going to take the same photo with the Yongnuo, kind of going backwards. So let's do a different pose with one foot up. Awesome. And let's flip your hair around to this side. Yep. And can you put your hand on that little square box there somehow, like resting on it? Can you like lean on it, lean on your elbow? Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's put your thumb, actually I like your hand right there on your thigh. That looks good right there. So now I'm going to set this photo to be properly exposed based on the AD200. And there. Oh, that looks great. So I'm going to take the same photo, and then I got that looking good with the AD200. I'm going to switch to the Yongnuo and see what it looks like with the Yongnuo at full power. And I don't think it's going to do a good job. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Wow, yeah, that's way dim versus the GODOX light it seems like maybe four times more powerful than the speed light, and that's a good sign. That's what I bought it for. So that's a lot more power. So now we're going to play with the power and do a few more things with it. Let's fight the sun before we lose the sun. So Shane, let's go to this field over here. Awesome. So the exposure on her looks good, but the sky is white. That's just kind of what naturally happens in most digital photos like this. The dynamic range is not quite there on the sensor. So yeah, the sky is bright, and she's technically dark compared to the sky. So I'm gonna light her up with my light, but I'm gonna drop the exposure so that the sky is actually blue and dark, or properly exposed. And I've got it at full power, so let's see how that does, just as a test. 1, 2, 3. All right, she looks like a bomb went off in front of her because I haven't changed my settings, so that's okay. I'm going to drop my shutter speed. Let's try 1/1000th of a second. See if we can get that sky nice and blue. Oh yeah, it's blue now, but she's still very bright, so I have extra power. So I need to actually turn my flash down to maybe 1/8 power. And I'm going to make the background blurry, so I'm going to go to 1.8. This will be interesting. 2/1000th of a second and 1.8. Looking really nice. Still too bright. which is a problem I haven't had before. Usually my light is not powerful enough and I have to add extra lights or get closer. But now I have too much light to work with, and that's great. Over your shoulder a little bit, just kind of twist your head over your shoulder. Yep. This is a close-up. Awesome. Yeah, but I want you to look down. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, there you go. Awesome. Very cool. So that's a really stark contrast there. It'll look even better if I get my diffuser on there, my umbrella, to soften out the light, which I haven't added yet. So let's get that on and we'll be having some fun with portraits. All right, so for this next part of the shoot, we're going to use this 34-inch beauty reflection dish. It's by the company Glow. See where it says it somewhere on here, Glow. And I love it. It's really nice, and it only costs about 85 bucks, which is pretty cheap for something this size. So first, I'm going to change out the head and put on the bulb head. There's a little release lever here. Cool. And then pop this on, see if it cooperates with me this time. Aha, looks like I know what I'm doing. And this bracket here keeps this nice and snug. Then this guy is a Bowen's mount. Very easy to use, very popular. I'm going to slide this on the front. Oops. There we go, cool. Tighten this. So in here we've got our diffusion cloth, which there's actually 2 layers. You can get the small one and the large one that goes on Velcro. I'm just going to use a small one because it's easier, because it's got these little snappies instead of the Velcro. I don't like Velcro, it's annoying. So let's get this connected, and then we'll be ready to get some nice soft light. If I can get this on, this is the hard part. There we go. So what this does is this is going to soften the light. So the light that I was using earlier was just direct, harsh, or hard light, coming straight at the people, makes shadows, it's bright in spots, it's dark in others. But this is going to kind of do the opposite. It's going to make the light source, instead of being a little rectangle about this big, this light source is this big. So light's coming from more angles, therefore making less shadows and making things softer. That's why sorry, there's gnats flying around me. That's why they call it a beauty dish. It's going to look really nice. Now, you don't want to use these on a windy day. Unless you have an assistant or a really, really heavy sandbag to hold it down. I usually like my main light to be about 45 degrees angles, different from where my lens is shooting them. So this is almost a 90, but it should be pretty good. 1, 2, 3. Great, now stay there. I'm going to move this light a little bit closer to me so we can see the difference in how the angle affects the light. And then I'm going to take one straight on. Awesome. And maybe one over the shoulder. Yeah, that looks really cool. Very dark sunset, very dark ambient light. That's a good look if you're going for dramatic, intense, and epic, which for my cosplay stuff and sometimes seniors and models, you want to get that look. So next I'm going to add a second light that's going to be triggered by this light. I'll show you how in a minute. All right, so I've got my second light here. That's going to be our backlight or a hair light, whatever you want to call it, rim light. And it is the Yongnuo brand, which means it can't communicate with this. I can't trigger that light with this controller. I can only trigger my main light. But the thing is, on these speed lights, they can be on different modes. One of them is Slave 1 mode, which not only is a spaceship in Star Wars, but it's also mode for speed lights. So when this light goes, this light can see it. There's a sensor on the front. It's going to see the pop of light, and it's going to trigger in time, thus giving me 2 lights without being able to control both of them. But it is manual, so I have to set the power over here, which I'm just going to put it at full power, and then I can walk away and take my photos. I can't really change the power wirelessly, but that's okay. So Shaina, let's do that squatting pose again. Okay. Now that I got my stuff working. Awesome. Now if I get lower, it's going to make things look a little more compressed. I love the low angles. I like to put the main light where their face is facing. So she's going to be looking to her right, my left, and I like to have the light on that side. So let's try this out. So look to your right. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. I got some cool lens flare. Now if I put the light right behind her, yeah, I get her hair is like illuminated by the light. Let's do a full body shot right there. And I'm going to switch to my 50mm. Okay, cool. Yeah, you gotta know what lens to use and why. Oh, that's cool. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Awesome. When we look upwards. Yeah. Cool. Now let's lift your glasses up and look down at me. Yeah. If we move your feet in, yeah. And move your feet apart just a little bit. There you go. Cool. So straight face, looking at me. Yep. I like the head kind of cocked to the side. And the last photo, I think I'm going to do, you're right here where you are. I'm probably going to be out this way. So I want you to stand like this. Let's do hands in your pockets. Or do you want to do like a hair, kind of a hands up thing? Yeah. I haven't really mastered those poses yet, so we'll play with that. Okay. All right, let's try this. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Let me change my light, make it bright again. Cool. Well, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed putting my new light to the test and comparing it with what I'm used to and what I've been using for years. So if you have this light, let me know in the comments. If you need more power, definitely look into the AD400 or 600. If you're trying to overpower the sun, those are better options. Thanks so much to Shaina Mitchell for being the model for this photo shoot. She's an aspiring model and a friend of mine, and she did a great job. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.